Hello. I kind of want to do something a little bit different today. I wanted to go through all of my old sketchbooks from when I was in middle school, so like 2010 all the way up until end of high school, freshman year of college, I think, which would have been like somewhere around 2016 to 2017. Just kind of talk about like where I started and where I'm in now, and if I progressed at all. Um, I just thought it'd be fun to go through them all. I haven't looked at them in a while, but I finally got my hands on my old sketchbooks. And this, there's a few of them. just, yeah, let me just, oh, oh wow. This whole pile here is all of my old drawings. It's so big, in fact, that, oh, ignore all that mess. Oh, okay, cool. Video's off to a great start. This is, and also this isn't even like all of my drawings. These are just ones that I could find that were still in sketchbooks that were somewhat intact. Some of them I didn't sketch too much once I went to college, just because I was a graphic design major. There wasn't a whole lot. I didn't draw as much once I went to college. Just being completely transparent. So there's not a lot of stuff there, but I wanted to kind of go through a lot of my old drawings from middle school up until high school. Let's start with 2010-ish, 2009, when I was 11 years old. So we're gonna start with that. I'm honestly regretting having an open flame near a bunch of paper, so we're gonna push that back a little. Gosh. Okay, so this is my first sketchbook. Let me sit in here. I did not get a sketchbook. I started off with honestly just clearly lined paper, computer paper, anything that we had lying around at my house. This isn't everything from around that time. I'm actually kind of bummed out because there's some drawings that I really loved that I wanted to include for this video that I still really love, that maybe I do have pictures of it, so I'll probably include it somewhere once we get to around that point where I think I did that drawing. Some of this might be out of order just because I don't fully remember. I roughly remember when I made certain things, but not everything. But I do know that if it's loose leaf paper or computer paper, it was most likely middle school. And you can clearly see from the time, well, let me actually just stand. You can clearly see what time period this was made. I have this as my profile picture on my email, and up until honestly like probably someone recently. So, just a bit of background. What originally led me into drawing, clearly by my art style here and now, to an extent, was anime, obviously. But more specifically around this time period, I was definitely in 5th grade to 6th grade, because I remember Pokemon Hearts Gold and Soul Silver came out around this time, or was announced or something, and I was super hype about it. Anyway, but also around this time was when I started watching anime for the very first time, and what led me into anime is a very, very niche thing on YouTube that I don't know if anybody really remembers, but it was Blue Mac and Cheese's Pokemon parody. And they also ended up making like this Ouran High School Host Club parody, and Ouran ended up being like technically the first anime that I ever watched. I mean, I watched like Naruto and Dragon Ball and all that beforehand, but I didn't realize it was anime until my Verizon at the time had Funimation. Anyway, but Blue Mac and Cheese was the very first artist that I really admired. So a lot of my art style at the time was based around hers. So this was, I think the very first like attempt at drawing anime, but it's like they Blue Mac and Cheese, their art style, or I guess the way that they would draw was like more, I guess, not quite furry, but like cute cat girl-ish tail. It was kind of supposed to be me, but like as a cat girl. Made her purple. This is the very first one. I had like, it's so weird going through these because I was briefly going through these before the video and before I started the video, and it's like, I remember making this. There's another drawing I did, very clearly struggling with a nat and ear and still do. I just really want to go through. This was one of, I think, Blue Mac and Cheese's like friend, like, you ever watched the Oron High School Who's Go parody? Their whole like group, I drew like a lot of their old OCs and like their friends' OCs at the time. Another drawing I did, done on printer paper. A lot of this stuff, yeah. I didn't get my first sketchbook until I want to say 8th grade. And I'll bring that up in a second. Yeah, I didn't really experience, even now, I still don't really use colored pencil. I'm pretty sure this was, honestly, this might have been crayon. Not crayon. I don't know, but this one, honestly, not terrible, but also very clearly, like, I don't like drawing limbs and hands, and did a lot of portrait. Oh, this is, I think, another variation of that one. And hands, and honestly, not much has changed. There's really nothing on this one. So this was from a Mark Curley video, of him drawing Naruto. Unfinished. We're gonna do that. These are just like doodles. More of this. Also, yeah. I remember like really struggling with proportions and like neck sizes. Honestly, a lot of this is the same struggles I still have now, but and also you can just, yeah, obviously headphones wouldn't face this way, and just everything about this, but I still like, it's so weird. I very vividly remember drawing this. This I remember drawing one day specifically because, and maybe you can kind of tell by the art style, I was maybe in like middle school or high school. I remember I like came home from school one day, and like my routine was like I'd come home, get a snack, watch anime, and then draw after. And one of the things that I really like to do, I had this like girl named Q. I don't remember the storyline of this, because I know I had another page, but I think this was just like the only one that I really ended up liking. But I remember I wanted to be a manga artist one day. That was like big dream, big goal for a very young me. And I actually really do I actually really do like how this turned out, especially just because like back then especially, I wasn't looking at references really, unless I was like copying something. I wasn't like, I wasn't looking at references. I definitely was not studying anatomy. This one I think might have been high school. I can't remember exactly. Ugh, if I can find, I'm so bummed out. There's this one sketchbook from high school that I really wanted to show for this video, but it's not with me for some reason. But I'm gonna double check once we get to that section, because that drawing just reminded me of a drawing that I really loved that I will, if I can't find it, I will post it somewhere in the video. Yeah, this is kind of more what I'm talking about that Blue Mac and Cheese art style. I think I honestly was doing like that was like an OC, I think, for Soul Eater, maybe? That says weapon. I don't know. Yeah, more of that previous drawing they did. Oh, come on, back of here. Oh. Also, very clearly I know this is wrong, because I know I just used Google Translate and just wrote in fucking kanji or whatever, and I know that's just wrong. I don't know. This was definitely 8th grade, because I didn't get Copic markers until my very first sketchbook. I honestly don't even know if they were real Copic markers. I was getting into shading around this time, as you can see. Just shading with my finger. Yeah, I really remember just sitting at my desk and drawing, and like listening to like the Soul Eater soundtrack. Most likely, yeah, this was like, I mean, obviously I just copied a picture, but like I was still really proud of it. That was like a lot of my drawings at the time as well. Honey from Oron, really wanted to draw him. I have a drawing of Maka that I really hope I can find. That I don't think I have a picture for, unfortunately. Yeah, I tried to make my drawings a bit bigger. Oh, this was one I ended up really liking. It's so interesting. It's like, these are like very clearly drawings of a 11 to 13-year-old who like just started drawing. This one might have been, see, I drew myself. This might have been high school. But you can definitely see like the progression. Like really all I remember doing this time was like literally watch. Oh, this was one of my favorite OCs. This I do remember. So I had like a main OC who, if I can find the drawing of, because that's still one of my favorite drawings I've ever done. That like I actually don't think I could do now. One of my main OCs I did at the time, her name was Reed. Her backstory kind of changed, but she was like a vampire essentially. She was basically like a copy and paste of, if you ever watched the show Negima, I was like obsessed with Evangeline, and I forget her like robot friend's name, but this was basically who she was she was based off of her, and then like I had a main OC named Reed who was oh, this is it. This was my Maka. One thing though, it's like when I really like a drawing, I'm just like, I just kept adding to it and just adding stuff on. Oh, and this was this is definitely where things kind of get out of order, but this was Hikaru / Kaoru. This was like, she was like this was like one of the first iterations of Reed. And I know this is not how you fucking do it, but she was here, I think started off as like a bunny girl. I can't remember if she started off as like a digital drawing, because at this time also, my first digital art was just MS Paint. So this was the very first sketchbook I got. I got this one, I remember specifically when I was 13. I think my sister got me this sketchbook. One of my sisters did, and the markers. I was so excited. As you can see, and also at this time too, Copic markers, I remember wanting them so badly, but they were so expensive. Like 5 of them, I think costs like maybe 40 for. I don't think there's that much in here. I know the beginning. Oh, there's Lavi from The Gray Man. A lot of these, I didn't really. And my thing with sketchbooks is like, I either fill them completely. I do that more so now because I use smaller sketchbooks. From this, oh man, there's some drawings they might be in here. But yeah, this was. Yeah, around this time. Also, I don't think I have that many Vocaloid drawings. I know I definitely do in my other sketchbooks. I actually kind of like this one. This one I think I really want to redraw one day. There's so much I could do differently with this one. I will say though, because I just got whatever the standard or classic Copic marker set was that had like rainbow colors, and maybe like one peach tone. Very hard to find any brown Copic markers at this time. And like for that reason, like I feel like I didn't really draw that many black characters. But anyway, just a side note, the, give me one second. Okay, apologies if my voice or if the sound audio is very weird. My mic just died, so we're gonna keep going. I was very obviously obsessed with Soul Eater, very obsessed with scythes. Thought scythes were really cool. Most of my OCs and Reed, the one I was talking about earlier, ended up getting or having a scythe as like a weapon. This was the drawing I was thinking of. I guess that was old school. Yeah, this like almost marionette one. Oh my gosh. I forget. Wow. And I'm just, yeah, 3. So I was 14. So my freshman year. So I guess I had this, yeah, that makes sense. I had this sketchbook for a while. I didn't draw too much in it. I feel like I still used a lot of computer paper, or I did a lot of digital art at the time also around this time. We were done with 8th grade to freshman year-ish. Now I'm gonna move on to sophomore year. So unfortunately, I had 2 of these sketchbooks, and around this time, I started getting a lot pickier about what type of paper I like to use and what kind of sketchbooks I like to use. I got a couple of these sketchbooks one day from Michael's, I think, and I personally do not like these kinds of sketchbooks. I don't like when the I forget what you would call this. With these thingies are up here. I like it more on the side. Most of my other sketchbooks have that. But paper sketchbooks, which like my favorite brand of sketchbook, which you'll see later on, I love the paper. I hate that it has a paper cover because it falls apart so easily. But yeah, this was sophomore year, I believe. I got 2 of these. And you can tell it was my sophomore year because guess what show came out at the time? So weird. I vividly remember when Attack on Titan came out. So I was like 15. Sophomore year, 15. And I remember like on episode 5 or whatever where Eren dies, and I got that spoiled for me, and I was so upset. Look at where we are now. I think around this time also I got into like pen drawings as well. Oh, this is for a friend who was obsessed with Frozen. Yeah, around this time I got my Sakura pens, which I still have, and so most of them still work. I really haven't bought that many since my sophomore year, I guess. And also at the time they were super cheap. Now they're pretty expensive, depending on where you get them. But yeah, I did a lot of pen drawings at the time, and I like, looking back, I remember being very frustrated because I couldn't understand how artists were doing pen drawings so effortlessly. Now when I'm doodling, actually, I use a lot of pens, but I just, like, I feel like it took years for it to just kind of click, because I'm treating it like a pencil when it's not how it really works. I think it was me and a friend or something. No, I can't remember. It's either from something or it's me and a friend. But yeah, like, yeah, I was doing a lot of inking, practicing. I wish I could find the other sketchbook for this. But anyway, I remember this was supposed to be like, there was this artist that I found on DeviantArt, I think, who did like a lot of Pokemon, like a lot of Pokemon OCs. This was one that I kind of did of Articuno. Levi, I was obsessed with. Also, yeah, Barry. Oh my god, it is in here. Okay. So Levi, I was obsessed with. This was like, so I love this drawing and I also ruined it at the same time because I was like, this is going so well. I have a habit as an artist of not knowing when to stop. And this was definitely my problem at the time because I added pen to it thinking it would like, I could push my values a bit more. At the time, I still do this now, but at the time, I really only used like mechanical pencils or your standard like HB school pencils. So I didn't have like, a 4B, a 6B, an 8B or whatever. I couldn't go much darker than that. You can with color pencil. I had an art teacher also in high school who like hated when people would use colored pencils, but I loved color pencil or not colored pencils, mechanical pencils. But that's like all I would draw on. She would get so mad whenever I would use a mechanical pencil for drawings. Anyway, this Kingdom, I also my sophomore year of high school, a bit late, but that's when I got into Kingdom Hearts. I remember my brother gave me his PS2 and I bought all the games for Christmas. I got like a Amazon gift card or something. So I bought all the games for PS2 and I just played through them and I loved it. I have like a bunch of like, I wear like keyblades all the time. Like I got like a cute little set of them. I'd wear those all the time. And I got those back recently. So I'm very happy about it. Nominee. Also around this time, I was playing piano. And I don't play piano anymore, really. But I would only play video game music at this time as well. But as you can see here, like my art style is developing more. Like obviously it's still like in a cute little anime way and like obviously struggling with side views, which I still do. But you can definitely see like the improvement around this time. And so I was also shading more. Obviously not doing my anatomy practice. Oh, this was like my Yveltal drawing. I actually remember doing this so vividly, but I just never finished it. It's either in this sketchbook or another one. I have a Darkrai and a Mega Charizard XY, I can't remember. One of these, but I think it's towards the end. Oh, I love this one. I might excuse me. I might redo one day. Just because I like the concept a lot. It was just an angel. Obviously don't like drawing hands. Angel that like, wow, actually. I struggle so much with side views now still too, but then sometimes I look back at some of these and I'm like, how did I do that? Because it's not like terrible. Obviously some tweaks here and there, but like proportionally not that bad. But I remember doing this in study hall or working on it in study hall. Because I remember I didn't take an art class that year because my school messed up my schedule or something. So I would just spend my study halls drawing. And I love this concept of like a bony wings and stuff and fallen angels. I don't know. I feel like also back then too, I would draw more guys. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. I used to draw more guys. I don't do that really much now. I'm trying to go back to that. But anyway, back to the OC stuff. My OC Reed, who if the drawing is in here, I will bring it out. If not, I will post it somewhere in this video. I don't think it's in here. I'm really bummed out about it because it's one of my favorite drawings I've ever done, still to this day. But wow. I don't hate this. Like a lot of these I don't hate. At the time, I remember being so frustrated with my art because I was like, I feel like I'm either not in, looking back and like this is all very normal, frustrating feelings to have, and I wish I didn't take I wish I was a lot nicer to myself around this time, because around this period I remember struggling a lot artistically, being like, I'm comparing myself to others a lot, being like, oh, I can't draw this, then this, and I feel like I'm just not understanding certain things, and things are looking the way that I really want them to, and just taking it really hard on myself. But this, anyway, This, I actually like this. It's Lobby from, his ear looks messed up. It's Lobby from D. Gray Man, Kissing My OC Read. I remember this. She ended up like transforming into like I inserted her in so many different shows I was obsessed with at the time. It was like Soul Eater, Negima kind of, and D. Gray Man especially, because I was obsessed with Lobby, biggest crush on him. Yeah, I completely forgot I ever did that. Some drawings. I think these are just like stuff I found on Google. Pokemon OC, Trainer OC, Giraffe Rig. It's kind of scary, honestly. I don't remember. Oh, this was an artist I think I found also on DeviantArt. I ended up drawing them just because I liked their pose and everything. I was sending to them, and they actually replied and like thanked me. I was experimenting with shading hair here. This is, yeah. Oh man, if I can find, I actually don't hate this one. Let me bring it closer to the camera because some of these are like teeny. I don't hate it. I feel like I'm healing an inner child right now by being like, oh, I actually like some of these. Are they perfect? No, but like, I like my art style at the time. I did not realize I watched Durarara in high school. This is Shizuo Heiwajima chibi version from Durarara. And Yato from Noragami. Oh man, a show that deserves a third season that unfortunately will probably never get one. Some anatomy. I got this anatomy book. I think I do still have it. Practice that. Black Butler Eyes. This is, yeah, I remember drawing this one, which like honestly like not like compared to me now, the times where I definitely still struggle, because also around this time, keep in mind, I would freehand most stuff. I wouldn't really like block stuff out, like, you know, do a sketch of the head and like the torso and the stomach and then like measuring out the legs and everything and the arms. Like I wasn't doing that, and because when I would do that, and I still kind of have this problem where it's like it doesn't quite look right or match up, but I feel like I do a much better job when I don't do that. But around this time, yeah, I remember being pretty frustrated, but it's like I'm looking at these and I'm like, I wish I wasn't so hard on myself, because I know exactly what I could have done to make this a bit better, but hey, that's part of the process. And yeah, I think is that this sketch? Maybe I'm mixing them up. Yeah, I wish I wasn't so hard on myself at the time. Oh no, this one fell out. Okay, so this is where I have another sketchbook that I think that one came first before this one. I'm not entirely sure. The orange one, I do vividly remember that being sophomore year. This, I believe, was junior year. I'm actually starting to think the black one came first, but whatever. I grabbed this one, so we're gonna do this one. I was also obsessed with, and still am, Theater Rhythm Final Fantasy. I never, besides like, I played a bit of 7, but other than that, like, bits and pieces of the Final Fantasy games, but I love rhythm games. These are actually just, and yeah, and like bad drawings I would just like cover up, and like was just too afraid to show people. But this has been these are almost, or I guess they are, well, it just hit me how long ago high school was, but these are almost a decade old, or are a decade old. So I feel more comfortable sharing them, but let me tell you, it does not feel like it's been a decade. Yeah, more so on this. I remember vividly having the sketchbook in like my English class, because my English teacher at the time, I'm actually, the memory that I'm thinking of is literally because of this page. My English teacher at the time, loved her. She was great. She, like, in class, here's the thing. I was not the best student. I was an okay student. I got A's, B's, and C's. I would say I'm a very average student. Didn't really like studying. I would take notes here and there. Did a lot of doodling, obviously, on my notes. But I wasn't the best student. But I will say, in a lot of ways, drawing in class definitely helped me memorize certain things, even if I wasn't necessarily writing down the material. But all this to say, like, I would draw in class all the time, just because, like, kids around me were so disruptive and just, like, wouldn't pay attention, didn't take things seriously. I mean, I'm sort of not taking things seriously in a different way, but I'd still participate and still engage, but I would just kind of draw in between that. And my, not art teacher, but my English teacher, she really, like, liked that I was an artist and really complimented me on my work all the time, and that made me feel, very, like, you know, I felt very, like, appreciated at the time, because, like, I never really got in trouble for drawing in class. I had a lot of art friends who did, and also by, like, the same teacher, funnily enough, but, like, I never got in trouble. I wasn't, like, super disruptive or anything. I just wanted to draw and be left alone, which honestly not much has changed, but yeah, chibi attempt didn't go well. Little bunny boy. I should draw guys more. I really don't do that as much. This was, like, kind of my first ever, like, prop design, because I had this idea that I never really got to flesh out because I couldn't quite figure out the storyline. This is one I sort of ended up taking this OC in a different one that I don't think is in the sketchbook or in any of these sketchbooks at all. I think I mainly just drew her digitally, but had to do with, like, I don't know, opposing, not sisters, but, like, whatever, friends. I don't know. I do remember doing this in my math class. Oh, this is the sketchbook. Yeah, I was really obsessed with, like, gas masks as well. Also obsessed. Oh my gosh. And speaking of junior year of high school, this is when I first started my sign of my life away to start playing League of Legends. And I was obsessed with ribbon, specifically the Battle Bunny ribbon. I almost want to draw this again. I might have a night where I just draw League props, because I actually, League 100%, my love for League definitely elevated my art in a way. It was a big inspiration for me. This, like, I got into cosplaying because of League of Legends. Like, my first convention was KatsuCon, and at the time, League cosplays were very, very big. And so, like, I was just, like, mesmerized by the character design, and ribbon was one of my favorites. Still not a good ribbon top, but I love ribbon, especially at that time. This was based off of, like, a Vocaloid song. Also, keep in mind, this was high school. I was a very, very, very depressed high schooler. Around this time, art was also a way for me to express those emotions, I would say, in a very healthy and cathartic way. These are lyrics to a Vocaloid song that I can't remember the name of. If I do remember, I'll put the name of it somewhere. I actually do like this drawing a lot. I'm so curious to know of, like, what my art process was at the time, because I don't really remember looking at references, honestly, until I got to college. So not saying I did this from my brain. I think I most likely did, like, copy an image or something, or, like, looked at something as, like, a reference, kind of, but I really don't remember. But actually, I really do like this drawing. I do remember the night that I made it. This actually does mean a lot to me. But yeah, more. I also will say this is where I feel like I regressed as an artist, because Art Germ was also an inspiration for me at the time. A compliment that I got a lot on was the way that I do eyes. I feel like I can't implement the ways that I draw eyes on paper as well as I can digitally. But on paper, this was, I wonder if it's due to the texture of paper or what, but I really liked the way that I did eyes at the time. I was also probably shading with the smudgy sticks, but I don't use this as much anymore just because I always lose them. Kingdom Hearts. Actually, this is a drawing that I always remember that looking back and being like, damn, I really wish I finished that. And maybe I will. But like, I almost want to just finish this one because I actually like how it was turning out. I loved, these are the OCs I was showing you guys earlier. Yeah, I really like the way that I did eyes at the time. I wonder what pencil I had. Yeah, I actually do like this drawing. I want to get back into larger sketchbooks. I think if I can find how some artists just do those. I will say, like, I think nowadays I draw eyes one way, whereas back then I was a bit more versatile about it. So I think that's gonna be one of my goals moving forward, is to just, because I think artistically, like, I have gone into like same, oh, I was kind of into Assassin's Creed at the time as well. I got into like same face syndrome, whatever you want to call it. Also into Gravity Falls. But yeah, I did a lot of the, this was, yeah. Oh, I actually like this one. I should shade more. I don't do that as much. I shade differently in my sketchbooks now. And very bad habit of mine. I don't do this as much anymore, but I, at the time, definitely did not fill in all of my sketchbooks. I do like going through my old sketchbooks. So I definitely did this once a few years ago, just flipping through everything. And sometimes it's like I don't know, in some ways I feel like I've progressed, obviously. In a lot of ways I think I progressed, but in a lot of ways I've also regressed, just I feel like in terms of my creativity, and also like, as you're seeing, like the eye stuff, I feel like I was more versatile in my drawings then, maybe just because I was in class and now things are different. I'm an adult with like responsibilities or whatever. So yeah, okay, so yeah, this one older, maybe like a year older than that last sketchbook. This is 11, 13, 15. So I was actually no. This was definitely a redrawing of an old drawing. 15. I was 17. So my senior year. This is the OC. I didn't like this one, I remember, just because like she has a longer face. This didn't quite match. The eyes aren't how I wanted them to be. Oh, this was summer of my senior year because I joined like a graphic design thing at a college. And I was really obsessed with this Vocaloid song. I forget what it's called, but if you know, you know. So I drew that. This was, yeah, that redrawing that I did. I wish I can find. Oh, also was obsessed with Kill la Kill. Clearly, this is very wrong. Obviously this needs to go back more. And times like these where it's like, because sometimes I would, and if I do a video on my digital art drawings, my old ones, I do like the class, like I would take, at the time I had like a really, really bad scanner. So I would just scan the drawing that I did, put it into Paint Tool Sai. That's what I primarily used at the time. So something like this, it's like, I would even do that now. Like I would just, I really didn't realize I signed it. Read for so long. I would take something like this, put it in, scan it, put it in Paint Tool SI, and I would fix something like this where it's like clearly needs to be here, not all the way over here. Oh, actually, this, it's hard to tell when this was. This might have been junior year. Junior or senior year. This is where because I feel like I did this one in class with the teacher that I was talking about, and that was junior year. Yeah, things change as you get older. She was supposed to be, she kind of was like I feel like Miss Fortune from League was like my inspiration. Yeah, it's just so interesting. I feel like back then I was much harder on myself. Yeah, this was like maybe end of the year to senior year, because I remember like specifically watching Kill la Kill while I was drawing her. Another OC of mine. Cat Girl. But yeah, no, oh, and I was also obsessed with the game Demo at the time. What was I saying? Yeah, I feel like I wish I could remember my thought process more at the time. But just because I feel like I was a little bit more playful and versatile, and like you can clearly see like I'm just like this drawing I hated, but like actually not the worst, but it was I did an art trade with someone, I think, also. But I was so hard on myself, and like because it was like sometimes I'd like do something like this where it's like, why am I making these mistakes? And then like I draw something like oh yeah, this is where I would like draw people on Instagram, or I'd like, you know, I draw something that I really liked. And also like here too, like I struggle with drawing guys, but it's like not a terrible like redraw, because it looks pretty close to the original. Oh, this was I thought I did this. This was the drawing I thought I did digitally. This was the other girl, more grown up. She, weapon wise, I remember the story was like very not quite put together. I just wanted her to be like a pretty skilled fighter. She has a katana here, but like, okay, I was 16 when I did this. So, whoops. These are flip-flopped, I think. Which is so weird because I feel like I vividly remember doing this. My brother drew this one. You drew that in my sketchbook. But yeah, I don't know. I remember just being so frustrated because there's some stuff that looked so great, and there was some stuff that just looked terrible. I was also experimenting with like different art styles at the time as well. But again, like I actually really like this drawing. I would redo this now. Also, because I feel like somebody might comment on this, drew a lot of characters, not a lot of black characters at the time. Mainly because one, skin tones at the time were difficult for me, and also like I'm pretty sure I used like Crayola as well. It was just like very difficult for me to figure that out, but now obviously I'm older, things change. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's just like when I was going through these, oh okay, this was for an assignment for school. I forget what exactly we had to do for this. I think it's supposed to be I think I made this into a watercolor painting. I just never finished it. I actually kind of like how that one is looking. Friend drew this little dirt face. But this was a drawing I vividly remember doing because I think I posted this on Instagram at the time, back when Instagram wasn't just like trying to get as many likes as possible. I was just like 15 or 16 or whatever, posting whatever I wanted. And this was Palutena. I was actually very, very happy about this drawing. If I were to redo this, but you know, I remember being very, very happy about this and how this turned out. I remember specifically too, this took like, I think 3 days or something for me to do, because it was clearly a lot of shading. And so this one was from an art class. This was definitely my senior year, because I had this class my senior year. So there's not much, because it's just like notes. I need to do a color wheel. I won't show too much from this one, just because there's not much to really show. Oh, I think that, yeah, more weapons drawings. Figuring that out. Oh, this is a chibi version of the OCs I was talking about, and see right here. I like this more. I might honestly change my art style a bit and go back to this, because I do miss this like classic anime art style. So I'm going backwards. This was like a cosplay I was trying to plan that ended up never happening. Rey from Star Wars. Oh, this is definitely senior year. This one I remember liking a lot. I had this like, I drew a lot of cat girls, which I think is very fitting for middle school anime nerd who like to draw. But this drawing, I was, obviously the anatomy's all wonky, but I was really proud of this one. I think another thing too though is versus like my art style back then versus now, is that then I would make the faces a lot smaller. Now I definitely make them a lot bigger. Because at the time I remember I would make them too big. I was like, okay, I know I need to like, what looks off is that I need to crunch things down a bit.
But I know this has been a very long video, so if you have been sticking around, thank you for coming with me on this very, very long journey. This is definitely the last bit. This is when I started using my favorite brand of sketchbooks, which is the Beyond Bong. I love the texture of their paper. These and moleskins are my favorites. So this was senior year to maybe freshman year of college, or at least that summer, because freshman year of college, like I said, I really didn't draw that much. Okay, maybe that's wrong. This was, yeah, let's just look through here. Syndra from League I Never Finished. This one I remember I got a lot of compliments on. This might be also a bit of junior year as well. I really like that one. Oh, this drawing, I never finished. I ended up doing it digitally, but it didn't come out the way I wanted it to. I had scanned it and everything. Daenerys, I was also obsessed with Game of Thrones. I started watching that. I still really like this drawing, because like I said, like this, like I did like a light sketch of everything, and then I just went into it, and I think that's honestly how I prefer to do my drawings, because I didn't like measure everything out, really. I kind of just like, this is about here, this is about here, and this is about here, and that's honestly the drawings I like the most. Why is my camera blurry?
Oh gosh, I remember this one. This one was also kind of, those who was talking about Reed. This one was for I remember we had an assignment that was supposed to be Art Nouveau. If I can find the finished piece I did, I liked also, because I painted that one, I think in watercolor, I can't remember, but didn't really like how it turned out, but I really liked the sketch. Like I said, I really liked the way that I did eyes back then, and I think I want to go back to that. And yeah, this drawing, although like obviously, yeah, unfortunately, like this needs to be brought down a bit. And I think I'm pretty sure I drew the rest of this, but because this is like almost 10 years old, I think just some stuff over time just got pretty smudgy. But moving on, it's like pretty much the last sketchbook I'm going to show. I have another one that only has like maybe a couple drawings in it before I stopped using it really. Yeah, I was also obsessed with Disney at this time. The Articuno that I did, but I did a redraw, but I guess I didn't even remember I did that one. Kylo Ren. This is like, again, similar approach to the Daenerys. I remember I did this one literally right before I started college. This one was one of my favorites. Really like this drawing. Still to this day. It's almost 10 years old. But this is also, I was talking about how I didn't really use like, or I couldn't get my values down enough. This one was a drawing that I did where I actually like, because for my art class we had to buy pencils, and this one I could like really like, I love value shading. That's one of my favorite things, and you can clearly see that in a lot of my work, I think, at least a lot of my sketchbook work. Digitally, I feel like I don't push my values as much, just because it's a different approach. But you can clearly see here, like I love pushing my values. I love it so much. It's one of my favorite things to do artistically. I love a sketchbook. I love a good pencil drawing. I love digital art as well, but for me, like nothing beats a good sketchbook, especially for stuff like this. This one I remember doing, so at the time, this was definitely like Christmas break or something, my freshman year of college, because what I was doing for most of my earlier 20s, late teens, earlier 20s was playing a lot of League, clearly. So I would just play, or I would, in between matches, because my Wi-Fi was so bad, like I was definitely one of those people where it's like, you know, the match takes 5 minutes or something to start. It's like, who has a toaster? That was probably me. My Wi-Fi was really bad at the time. Still kind of is, but like not as bad as it was then. So in between matches, or mainly not in between matches mostly, but like right when the match was about to start, during the like loading phase, this is what I would do. So here, like I kind of started going for a more like realistic-ish approach. I think this is kind of when I started to kind of do that. So we have Arcade, Misfortune, was like my favorite skin at the time. Battle Bunny Riven, obviously. Nurse Akali. This was to be, I didn't finish this one, but Elementalist Lux and DJ Sona. Oh, and I remember, I think this was also when I was doing this, because I think this was like also in the same night, because I was just playing League like all night. I remember like I bought DJ Sona and Elementalist Lux. I remember I really wanted those skins so badly, especially DJ Sona. So I was very, very happy. But I really also, maybe this is just me too. So this is my favorite brand of sketchbook. However, I feel like the paper, maybe it's just me, but I feel like because the paper quality, I like the mixed media because yeah, I could use a bunch of stuff with it, but also like it wasn't too textured, but it also wasn't too like just, I don't know, cheap, beefy. I'm very picky about my paper. So I feel like the paper quality changed. I haven't bought a big one of these since like this was the last time I ever did, I think. But I buy the smaller ones all the time, and I also get moleskins, and I like moleskins. They're just pretty expensive, and I don't know. I like them. They're very good quality, obviously, and I do like how smooth they are. But these ones, these were like like I remember all of these sketchbooks I have here that are like falling apart and this, that, and third. I remember I was like, I need to find this sketchbook that I just like, because I a lot of times don't finish the sketchbook or barely even touch it because I don't like the quality of the paper. Um, Last but not least, I have a sketchbook. I'm not going to go through the whole thing just because there's not really a whole lot in here. A lot of it's just notes. But this was a drawing that did, at the time, did decently well on Instagram. I'll pull it up here. But I really like the art style of it. I feel like that was like the last time I ever did this. But looking back, it's like I kind of like what I was saying earlier, where I kind of want to go back to art styles like this. It's just because I feel like this one was like a redrawing of an old drawing I did. And after this, I really just did not touch another sketchbook again. Really until like maybe a bit after the pandemic. Just because I almost in a way fell out of love with art, and over the past few years I've been kind of trying to reignite that passion again, and also discipline as well, like, you know, learning the anatomy that I didn't focus on at the time now, learning new skills, and but also like going through this like now for this video makes me realize like, oh, okay, the times where I was super hard on myself artistically, sure, that may have pushed me, but I don't want to always approach art that way where I'm just beating myself up for not being at the standard where I want to over myself. I can get there, but I also want to like be more free and more fun with the way that I'm drawing and the art that I'm creating, and not just like, you know, just doing things for content or for because I do artist alley, so I do also a lot of fan art. Like, I also want to draw things that I want to draw, and I I think after, honestly, this video alone just made me realize like, yeah, I want to get sketchbooks to size again, but also like I want to be more playful with my art. Not that I'm not gonna like drop making art content or art that's not for myself entirely. Obviously, I'm still gonna do that, but just to not make that all the art that I make moving forward. Just because going through these, it's like there are parts of my old drawing styles that I miss, and I want to see if I can do that again. So I'm actually like very, very happy I made this video. I didn't expect that as like the conclusion to make, but it's like, yeah, if hopefully like, you know, me showing my little art inspired you. Like, at a period of time, I was so embarrassed to show these drawings, and still am, and at times like self-conscious about showing the drawings that I don't like because I don't like the way it's turning out. But then it's like, you know, years later I can look back at it and be like, actually, I don't completely hate this. Like, I'm clearly figuring it out, and obviously there's mistakes, but like, I don't think it looks as bad as I thought it did. And actually, like, I think that I actually did a not terrible job. So, all in all, to say, thank you for, if you stuck around, thank you for joining me on this journey of seeing my old sketchbooks. I'm really happy I made this video. I'm really happy I could go through everything. Obviously, it was a lot, and if I'm being completely honest, it wasn't everything. It was most of the old sketchbooks I still have. Some stuff is, like I said, lost. Hopefully, if I can figure out how to turn on my old laptops, I want to do another video showcasing my old digital art, and also maybe redrawing some of my old drawings from my sketchbooks. Probably digitally, but yeah. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.